Well, we are at the home stretch, ladies. Are y'all good? Y'all doing good? It's been so good. Miss Mindy is coming on up, and she's another one who hides out in the back with our kids, and we've all been saying, so we know which one she's at, and I bet she gets lots of opportunities to help young children exercise this spiritual gift. So we are excited to hear from you.
Yes. So everybody say it with me. Oh, I got a song actually that we do in class, and I've got love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So that way it helps you remember. All right? So really, our last one is self-control. Everybody say it with me. Self-control. What's really funny about this is I know that y'all always see me running around. It's literally because I cannot sit still. I do not have self-control over my body sometimes. I, for the dear life of me, will not. Even when I'm resting and I'm sitting watching a movie, I'm still moving. I'm still like finding something to do in that seat. So I was like, Lord, you're funny. I'm with Miss Byrne. I'm like, Lord, self-control, that's good. That's funny. Because for a long time, I struggled with it. I come from the background of not church. I come from a background of ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to say. I will say what I want, when I want, how I want. That is not self-control. That is not fruit of the Spirit, okay? So for a long time, I had to learn self-control. How many of you know if you have kids, you will know whether or not you bear all the fruits of the Spirit, okay? They will pull it all out of you, all of it. And so I'm always like, Lord, I know this is your way of pruning and picking out things that do not look like you, right? So my daughter, she's the first one I stayed home with because I was always a working mama. She was the first one I stayed home with, and she was the first one I exclusively nursed till she was almost 2. If you've never done that, let me tell you, it is a mental load that can sometimes break you in self-control. There were some days that I was like, Lord, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I know that this is what you have called me to do. This is who you have given me, but I cannot do it. Because a lot of the times, how many of us know we're doing it on our strength and not in his strength? So with being exclusively breastfed, that means that she was at my side constantly. I did not get breaks because she needed her mama. She did not get bottles. I did not pump with her. That means like nothing. I'm her sustenance all through. There were times that I would get so frustrated that I would just go, and it was like I was literally throwing her, but I would go put her on her dad's lap, and I was like, take her. I can't. I cannot right now. And I would go and cry because there was times that I have, for the longest time, struggled with depression, suicidal thoughts, where they don't need you. They would be better off without you. Drive this car off of this road and they wouldn't miss you. There was a long time I struggled with a lot of that. So self-control was it's been a hard lesson some days. I was like, Lord, why self-control? He's like, well, people need to hear the testimony behind it because every day we are walking in self-control. So we have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And I was like, well, why is self-control at the end of the list? And this is what I got. Self-control is the seatbelt that holds us back and covers each trait so that they truly bear fruit in a way that reflects and honors Christ. So we cannot have love without self-control because sometimes it'll look like lust. We cannot have patience because we get that self-control where we're like Midland drivers. I'm one of them, sorry, y'all. I will be going 90 down the highway. Forgive me, Lord. I try not to, and then I look and I'm like, oh, it's 90. I should slow down. So self-control covers each of these traits. We cannot have one without the other, right? The definition of self-control in the worldly view is the ability to control oneself in one's emotions, desires, or the expression of them in your behavior, especially in difficult situations. How many of you are like, I match your energy? You throw shade at me like that, believe I'm gonna throw shade back at you. That is not a fruit of the Spirit, y'all. So we do not match energy. If anything, we'll match the Holy Spirit's. All right. In the Bible, the definition is self-control is not just the ability to restrain impulses, but a broader concept of encompassing spiritual discipline, emotional regulation, and submission to God's will. It is viewed as a fruit of the Spirit, a key characteristic in living a Christian and godly life. So walking in holiness comes with all of the fruit of the Spirit. The Hebrew word for self-control is musar, which can be translated as discipline, instruction, or correction. How many of us love to receive correction? Not anybody, right? If anything, sometimes when we get correction, we'll shut down, stop listening, detach, and we're like, I'm not listening to that. But it's from God, okay? We are the vessels. Our mouthpieces are his instrument. The Greek word for self-control is enkriatia, I think that's how you pronounce it. Somebody that can translate those will help me. And it signifies the ability to exercise restraint and moderation over one's actions, emotions, and thoughts, aligning them with God's will. So, how funny is it that all of them are talking about our will, our emotions, and our behavior, right? All of it comes together because we have to look like him. In order for us to look like him, we have to walk, talk, act, and think like him, right? I say we because I'm in that mix, y'all. So I have some tools for us to work through, all right? Every day, this is something that I am asking you to do along with myself. And the word is abide, right? We've been hearing it all conference, John 15, abide in me. Jesus is saying abide in him, but it's an acronym. I have an acronym for you. So the A is for ask. Ask yourself, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Why am I acting out in this way? Why is their behavior affecting me so much? Why? Like, do a heart check. Matthew 6:21 says, for where your treasure is, there your heart, your wishes, your desires, and that which your life centers around will be also. Meaning that if I am out of control with my eating, okay, what's going on? Am I making food my God? Am I on my phone too much? Is that my God? Is that my treasure? Can I be without my phone? Y'all, there's times that I lose my phone and I'm like, I don't need it. My husband's with me, they can call him. My child's with me, he has a phone, they can call him. Like, have we idolized our phone? Is that where our treasure is? Our families is a hard one. Pastor Tanya gave us this last time. If God were to say, I'm coming for you today, would you be able to let go and release all that you have, your kids, your husband, your everything that's surrounding you? Where's your heart? Because it should be his. His heart should be the only desire. All the other things are great, but if we don't have him, we're missing it. Be and abide is believe. Believe in his word. Believe what he's saying. Mark 11:24 says, "For this reason I am telling you, whatever things you ask for in prayer, in accordance with God's will, believe with confident trust that you have received them and they will be given to you." Everything we ask, he gives if it aligns with his will. I can ask him for a Tesla, but I don't need a Tesla. And he's going to be like, "Girlfriend, no, ma'am." Honestly, I don't like Teslas, but you know what I mean. It doesn't align with his will. If I'm not asking and I'm not directing it this way, am I really giving him my heart? Identity is your I. Identity. I give a Kingdom School class on identity. If you're not in Kingdom School, get connected. Identity is about what he says about you, who he says you are, and who he has called you to be. Jeremiah 1:5 is always my go-to, Jeremiah 1:5 and Psalm 139. But they both talked about him knowing us before we were even on this earth. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you and approved you as my chosen instrument. And before you were born, I consecrated you to myself as my own. I have appointed you as a prophet to the nations." He has appointed me as a prophet to the nations. He has appointed me as a prophet to my children, as a prophet to my husband, as a prophet to my house, as a prophet to this house. Okay? Every place you are in, he has placed you there for a reason. And if we don't seek him and we don't spend time in abiding in him, we will never know what that looks like. The D is die. Die to yourself daily. It is a daily die to yourself. Believe me, I love coffee. I love it. Like, that is my love language. If you get me coffee, you're speaking my love language, okay? But there are times where I can't go without a coffee without getting a migraine. All right, I have become an idol now with coffee. So when we fast, we are practicing self-control. We are taking and dying to our flesh. That is literally what fasting is. We are dying to our flesh and connecting to the source, who is the Father, right? So Galatians 2:20 says, "My old identity has been co-crucified with Christ and no longer lives. And now the essence of his new life is no longer mine, for the Anointed One lives his life through me. We live as a union, as one. My new life is empowered by faith of the Son of God, who loves me so much that he gave himself for me, dispensing his life into mine." That's the Passion Translation. But he's saying that I have died. So if I have died and been co-crucified with Christ, that means that I must practice self-control every moment, every interaction, every thought process, everything that comes into my eye gates, my ear gates, my mouth gates, must be dying to myself and making sure that it is from him. And the last is E, and that is encounter. Encounter him daily. Abide in him in every moment. Encounter him as you're washing dishes, as you're vacuuming the floor. My go-to is worship music. That is where if I start to get frustrated because I'm the only one cleaning my house, y'all. Every woman, every person in this room can say that, right? But is it true? No, we're here. We allow the enemy to be here. So encounter him in those moments. They might be mundane, they might be insignificant, but when you encounter him in all that you do, he will show up. He shows up. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to this world, to any superficial values and customs, but be transformed and progressively changed as you mature spiritually by renewing of your mind, focusing on godly values and ethical attitudes, so that you may prove for yourself that the will of God, which is good and acceptable and perfect. in his plan and purpose for you. Transforming our minds, capturing the thoughts, that's part of self-control, is when we capture every thought that comes in. Okay? We have to transform our mind. There's things that we live in a fallen world, and there's things that we allow to come into our lives and come into our house. And so if we're not capturing them when it takes place, we are giving room to the enemy to come in and whisper more lies. He uses what we watch to capture our minds. He uses our ears to capture our minds, but what goes into your mind goes into your heart, right? And what comes out of your heart comes out of your mouth, out of your actions, right? 1 Corinthians 10:13. I'm going to actually go there because there's two translations that I liked. Because there's a lot of people, and I hear it all the time. They always say, well, God won't give you more than you can handle. Okay, well, let's read the rest of that scripture. He says, no temptation, regardless of its source, has overtaken or enticed you that is not common to human experience. Nor is any temptation unusual or beyond human resistance. But God is faithful to his word. He is compassionate and trustworthy, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability to resist. But along with the temptation, he has in the past and is now and will always provide the way out as well, so that you will be able to endure it without yielding and will overcome temptation with joy. Oh, look at there. We had faithful. We had joy. How awesome that they all go together, right? Because we can't live without the other. And then, so that was amplified version. And in the Passion Translation, it says, we all experience times of testing, which is normal for every human being, but God will be faithful to you. He will screen and filter the severity, nature, and timing of every test or trial you face so that you can bear it. And each test is an opportunity to trust him more. For along with every trial, God has provided for you a way of escape that will bring you out of it victoriously. So when they tell you, God will not give you more than you can handle, you remind yourself of the rest. He says, but when you do go through those trials, when you do face those things, when you have things that are out of your control, he will give you a way out, and that is his fruit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Okay? Amen. That's right, baby. And then I have Ephesians 5:17 as our ending. Don't live carelessly, unthinkingly. Make sure you understand what the master wants. So abide in him. And I thought it was funny that Miss Fish talked about it yesterday. She said, abide. Our whole theme in our conference was abide. We cannot live a life without God. We cannot live a life without being close to the vine, staying low at his feet, being humble in humility, undignified before his throne. I know that we all love to look pretty. I know that there's times where we're like, oh, but I don't want to mess up my makeup. God is not saying, I'm not looking at all of that. I'm looking at what's in here. Are we fixing what's in here? Are we getting to the root of the root? Are we uplifting things that shouldn't be there? There are times where we do live in things, in situations where they are out of our control. So we will act out in those things impulsively, rashly, but those are not fruit of the Spirit. We have to constantly die to ourselves and say, God, am I walking with you? Am I doing your will? Am I listening to your voice and allowing you to speak to me? Ms. Bailey did it earlier. We have a 2-minute quiet time before we go into any meeting that we do or any big event. We're like, okay, let's take 2 minutes of quiet. And I'm like, you will know that I'm not going to stay still, right? I can be quiet all I want to, but I cannot like just sit there. So, but those are moments that I'm dying to myself and saying, Lord, I want to press in. I want to press in deeper in every moment that you give me the opportunity to press in deeper. Because if not, I will walk out of here the same, and I don't want to walk out of here the same. I want to leave knowing that you are bearing your fruit in me. So, give that to you, ladies.
Can we give all of our wonderful speakers a big round of applause again? So good, so much richness and wisdom. And, as I was listening to everyone share, the Lord dropped the story. Well, actually, it was a phrase first that he dropped in my spirit. And it's the story of where Jesus asked the disciples to go get a colt or a donkey for him to ride in on. And he said, if anyone asks, tell them the master has need of it. And the Lord wants you to know the master has need of you. So many of these women are ones who are usually not up here at the front. They're somewhere else serving, responding to what the master has asked them to do. But as we've been praying, and there's been words that there is a commissioning happening. You are here because God is commissioning you to something. It may not be to come stand up here. He may be commissioning you into a new job or career. He may be commissioning you into some other new sphere of influence. But what he is saying to you is the master has need of you. Will you say yes? Will you respond? And I'm not saying that any of you are a donkey, but sometimes we kind of feel, right? Like a little bit lowly, a little bit not like, we're not the beautiful stallion. Like, we don't feel that way. He's not asking for you to be anything than who he's made you to be, and for you to say yes. Marcy talked about it last night. Well, I don't really do that, but I'm going to say yes. And then the rest is up to him, right? And literally all of these women, and the ones especially who were like, I don't really do this, but I'm saying yes, such beautiful, beautiful fruit and wisdom coming out of their life because God will respond to your yes. So the master has need of you. Will you say yes?